Just a couple quick things that you're going to find in the revised version of Beneath the Ghoul Lair that we're pretty excited about. There are some rules in here specifically designed for ghouls because I've been using ghouls for a long time. And when, of course, we created a module called Beneath the Ghoul Lair, there's a lot of ghouls. What I thought I would do is kind of clarify a little bit about what a ghoul is, mostly because there's a lot of different variations of ghouls depending on the product that you're using or the game system that you're using. And because there's so many different writers that write these things, there's a lot of different ideas about what a ghoul is. They seem to be undead, but sometimes they're not exactly undead. So exactly what are they? So we talk about that a little bit in the book. I don't want to totally pin down because again, everybody's game is different, so I don't want to tell you how to run a ghoul. But we have some ideas about what a ghoul might be in here, especially in that 1E, 2E framework of things and why they might have undead abilities, because I don't really always think of ghoul as an undead creature. It's just that because of their ties to the negative energy plane, they have a lot of the features of the undead. And they're in here, though. And we've also got some scaling rules. This is a second to fourth level adventure, and ghouls can be very difficult for low level parties, especially when they're in packs. And there's also, of course, a couple of ghasts in here too, which are higher, more potent kinds of ghouls. And those all can be very dangerous. And so there are some optional rules in here about how you can kind of tone that down a little bit that would make sense with the theme and the story that's going on within the Ghoul Lair. Of course, you can use those for whatever other story you want to too, but they actually match specifically what's going on here. Makes the ghouls just a little bit weaker, but something, but still very deadly and something that the party can handle. And again, there's a couple different variations of how you can do that. We've also added rules for becoming a ghoul, but again, it's becoming a ghoul within the context of the story. But of course, if you like that and you want to bring that out to however else you're going to run your game, you certainly can do that. Everything is modular, of course. You just pull it out and use what you need to. That's what we hope you get out of this. I mean, of course, I would hope you just play this cover to cover, but the reality of game modules, of course, is you take these things and you just tear it all up and you figure out how it's going to work into the story that you're telling. Unless you're going to play a tournament or something, then we're going to go straight ahead with it. Also in this is, I mentioned this previously, but there's also a special NPC module in the back of the module. The NPC capsule, that discusses an NPC that is very briefly mentioned in the original Beneath the Ghoul Lair. I had actually left it out originally, and I've talked about this a little bit in the new introduction to the book, but I left it out because I had actually used a lot of material from another publisher, from the great guy. If you guys have ever gotten any games from Cloud Kingdom Games, a lot of the Riddle Room books, I used some of the Riddle Room stuff for that originally. And when I was writing the module, I'd forgotten that I had used that, and then I went ahead and pulled it all out. I'm like, oh yeah, those guys published that. I can't use that. I use that for my table, but I can't give that to you. So over the years, though, I've actually redone that and revised it, and it's a little similar still. Hopefully, our friends at Cloud Kingdom won't be too upset. But I absolutely love those guys at Cloud Kingdom. So fantastic guys. I've been a riddle master for many years. But anyway, so that's been totally redone though. And we got a big NPC capsule that talks about that NPC in the back of the book to expand that story out if you choose to do so. And that's a big development in the module itself, because otherwise there's really not much of a story here. It's a very straightforward adventure. As it says just on the back, basically this is the entire story is right on the back of the module. It's just there's ghouls in the area, they're causing havoc, and a ranger whose party has been decimated wants everyone to come and help and get rid of these ghouls. That's it. That's all there is. That's the development. As you get in there, though, there's some other stuff going on. In fact, actually, there's some things in there that actually still don't discuss. We're going to discuss those maybe in some later products, maybe, but we don't have to. Everything's in there. But there are secrets to unravel during the course of the adventure, and there's a few stories that can come out of it, much like the NPC capsule. But there's some other ones as well. At the same time, though, it's still just a straightforward dungeon crawl. The maps have been redone. I redrew them essentially from scratch, but they also expand quite a bit, and we've done some other stuff about what's going on down in the dungeons as well. A lot of the monsters in the book are very straightforward. They're mostly low-level monsters. There's a lot of wandering encounters that are going on because really that's what's going on. There's part of the adventure itself is just kind of wandering through some catacombs, and there's a lot of stuff that can happen in there. Several of the monster encounters in the book only happen on the wandering tables, though. It's just something that I don't often see in other modules, and I'm kind of excited about that too because it could give you a different kind of experience depending on what group's going down there. An example is our flesh-eating scarabs. Our new illustrator has actually done a really nice job. It's on our Kickstarter page. You can see that of the flesh-eating scarabs surrounding a poor adventure. And those are only encounterable in the wandering table if you're in like this section of like the lower level of the dungeon. So some really kind of rare stuff like that. It's exciting. The adventure is a lot of fun to run, and we're excited to get that out to everybody as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy it, and please back us, and let's get this book in everybody's hands.